What's up, Internet? My name's David Webb.
I'm Ariel Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
I feel...
You're ridiculous.
Like I get more ridiculous every time, and
True.
It only gets better the more ridiculous it is.
Not as true.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Nightly Morning Show. We no longer remember how many times we've done this.
We were trying to figure it out. We were like, are we on episode 47?
Or 52.
52.
It's either 47 or 52.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-mm. It is definitely either... Right?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Doug says play it safe and say 69.
Episode 69. And tomorrow will
Cheers,
also be episode 69.
Every episode is episode 69.
Yeah.
On another website.
Oh, God.
But for now, we stream on Twitch, which is a company that still exists.
Wow. Yes, it does.
No,
all right.
Can we all just say thanks to Twitch? It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
And thus far, we have not had a crazy Twitch story to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Thank you, Twitch, for being stable for this
days.
week. We'll check back in Friday to see how Twitch is doing. We should have a counter on the wall that's like days since the last major Twitch incident.
Oh.
And it's always at 0.
My God. I love that. That'll become part of our set dressing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Twitch.
We'll start taking bets as to whether or not you guys think it'll survive.
Twitch, we only make fun of you because we love you so much. So please figure this out because we love streaming here and we love the community here. And so do better. Someone at Twitch right now is like, hey boss, there's this guy with 20 viewers and he's ragging on us hard. We gotta shut him down.
Shut them down! They have like a big red button that they get to press. I love it.
They have a big red button for every... That's why Twitch is in trouble, is because they've spent all their money building a big red button for every stream.
No, all of a sudden you hear like a bang on the front door and the stream cuts out.
There's just... The window's right there and there's just red dots just like right on our foreheads. No, that's if you break your Disney NDA.
Oh, right.
So this one time I was working on...
Redacted.
Yeah. Even I'm not dumb enough to actually break my Disney NDA.
Oh God, no. They would come after you hard.
Maybe not. I mean, Avengers came out 8 years ago, so at this point they probably wouldn't care, but...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Actually, my NDA for... Actually, it's been 8 years. My NDA for Avengers is probably up. I think it was a 7-year NDA after the release of the movie.
Oh.
Because it's not forever.
Is it story time?
There's not really a lot to say. I met Stan Lee and hung out with Tom Hiddleston for a bit. It was fun.
That's pretty amazing. Not gonna lie. I'm very jealous.
I mean, yeah, and they paid me really well.
That's the important part.
Being in the union is very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to make money. I wonder what that feels like.
Do you remember making money?
Yeah, I think The Ship. That was like the best 6 weeks of my life. Money-wise.
Liza, I was an extra in the first Avengers movie. I was also an extra in Dark Knight Rises, Captain America the First Avenger, and both Amazing Spider-Man movies. Basically anything that filmed... If it filmed in New York between June 2011 and July of 2014, I probably did extra work in it.
Yeah.
That was how I got through college. I just did extra work on everything.
My favorite picture is with you on the set of Wolf of Wall Street behind Leo.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's fun. Honestly, extra work is really taxing, right? Because it's basically like you are a prop.
Yeah. And
they treat you like you're an object, and you kind of have to be okay with that. But if you're with the right group of people on set that day, if the right group of extras, because there's the wrong group of extras, but if you get the right group of extras, it can be really fun. It can just be really fun. Like I had like Wolf of Wall Street was one, and a lot of that was Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese did a really excellent job keeping the set fun and energetic, and like he was a noticeable presence in a way that like, it was joyful. Like he made everyone, even the extras, because a lot of time extras are feel like they kind of make you feel like you're in the way almost. On his set, he really made everyone feel like they were part of making art.
Yeah.
And in a way that like made everyone really show up for him. And it was very noticeable. Because I've worked a lot. Like I've done a lot of extra work in that time. It was how I ate, you know. And there were a lot of directors who would just never acknowledge the extras. Who was like the assistant to the first AD would handle the extras essentially. The first AD is the hierarchy of a film set. Like the first AD typically handles extras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But oftentimes shunts that work to his assistant. And so Martin Scorsese was one who like I had a nickname because I worked on the movie for 2.5 weeks and like he had a nickname for me and for a lot of people. And I could tell that he was doing it to make sure that everyone knew that he valued that they were there.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It made it, like, honestly... Liza, thank you for gifting that sub to North Wolf.
No, they're continuing their sub.
Oh!
Yes.
Yep, I can't read. Liza, thank you for...
Thank you, Liza.
...resubbing. So yeah, it was just one of those experiences that like opened my eyes to a different way of working and a different way of approaching work on set. And I was just so impressed. I understand why all of his movies are why everyone feels like they show up for him, and it's because he makes you feel like it's worth it to show up for him.
And honestly, I think that's the mark of a good director.
Yeah.
You have to know how to get your people together to do the job that needs to be done. That is part of your job as a director. Yeah. And people that understand that generally tend to make good movies.
Yeah, and I've managed to like by being, here's the thing, if you're a good extra, meaning that like if you show up to work, you're not disruptive, you don't try and talk to the stars.
Bring signs in.
Yeah.
Like
you'll get a lot of work because it's hard to find consistent extras. It's hard to find people who are good at that job.
Yeah.
Because a lot of weird people try and get extra work.
Yes.
I got to work with a lot of really cool people, and I got to watch, more than work with, but like watch a lot of really cool people work. Yeah. And even among everyone I saw, Martin Scorsese stands above the rest to me. Yeah. He was like the gold standard for how to behave on set and how to like treat people and I
love that.
Yeah, he's something else. It's really cool. And I loved those 2.5 weeks of my life are very, very, very special to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, they also paid my rent for like 5.5 months.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you for that, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. Pays to be in the union.
Well, they were long days too. Like,
yeah,
I was making
I can't imagine
ridiculous money on that.
Maybe
movie.
like at least like 14, 16 days minimum.
Yeah. In like nice tailored suits.
Oof.
It was just a bunch of white guys all sitting around in nice tailored suits for hours doing literally nothing but making crazy money. It was fun.
I love it. Extra work.
It's wild. It's wild. I once one of my favorite stories, I worked on the show Royal Pains a lot because it filmed in Long Island. And so they would bus us out from Manhattan. So you would catch the bus at 42nd Street and they would bus you to Manhattan. And one time I got on the bus at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was like a 70-minute drive to set. We got to set, filled out all of our paperwork because we have to do that first before they can even talk to us.
Yeah, it's extensive.
And they took our papers in, looked up, went, oh, God, we need like, they hired way too many waiters. You, and you, just get on the bus, they'll drive you back, you're done. But because I'm union and because I showed up and I filled out my paperwork, they have to pay me for at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
So for 2 70-minute bus rides, I made $265.
Ridiculous.
I was like, this is the greatest money I've ever made in my life.
Seriously. Like, oh, God.
Best part is, I got back to the city, called up my the casting office, and got another job later that day. Yeah.
You're like, I'm free, so, like...
Yeah, plus free bus ride to Long Island. It's a beautiful view. Should we talk news, or should I just tell stories about my...
The best podcast. Thank you, Jill Bickle. You know what, I think we'll save your extra stories and, like, sprinkle them throughout other episodes.
Mello the Bard said I should, like, compile every time you can see me in the background of something.
That would be funny.
Maybe I will, because there's a few fun ones.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and find them. Honestly, it would just be finding them all that would be so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But But, like, there's some that are easy to find. Like, I know, like, there's a bunch of shots of me in the season 1 finale of Girls, the wedding episode that you can see me.
Gotcha.
Smash, the season 1 episode 8. There's a shot that's just me, just going like this.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
I literally had a friend of mine text me, and they were like, your husband, did he, like, play, like, a guy who, like, kind of shoulder chucked another guy in, like, such and such movie? And I was like, David! He's like, yeah, probably. I did that a lot. Like...
Well, I'm big, right? So I got, like, cast... Like, I'm in the 4th season of The Big C. In, like, multiple episodes, I'm, like, a bully. Who's, like, in the background laughing at things.
Generic bully. Like...
Just generic bully. No lines. Yeah. I might have actually told this story on the show before, but we spent a whole day filming in Connecticut, which is where the Big C was filming. I think, was it Connecticut? It was outside the city. Whatever. They drove me there and they drove me back, so I don't know. And then that night I was on my way home on the subway, and I was sitting across from Laura Linney, who was on the Big C. She's the star of the show, and we're literally sitting across from each other, and like I didn't want to be awkward. Because, you know, like...
Yeah. Oh,
but she kept looking at me and being like... and she just kept eyeing me. And I was like... I was working on the show today, and she was like, oh, okay.
She was like, why do you look so familiar?
I know this person. Like, why do I know this person? And I was like, we worked together for like 10 hours today. In the same room.
I love that.
She's brilliant. She's so good on set. Watching her act, I was like, I'm never gonna be good at this. That's what.
Please.
No, you don't know until you watch Laura Linney act from like 2 feet away, and you're like, wow, holy shit.
All right, I'll just make that a goal of mine.
Yeah, do it. I recommend it. I do recommend it.
Put it on that bucket list.
All right, we're 12 minutes into the show. Should we tell the news?
Probably, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'd think I love hearing about movies you would think you wouldn't be great to work and be in, but they are. Like the original Human Centipede, they made sure to make everyone was respected and comfortable.
Oh, God.
Yeah, here's the thing about horror movies, Liza. Liza Bear just made that comment. Horror movies typically, obviously there are outliers where people have a bad time, but, you know, I've had a lot of friends work in horror movies, and because everyone shows up knowing what it is that they're making, from what I've heard, because I've actually never worked on a horror film, it's a lot of, like, fun, right? Because what you're doing is so preposterous.
Yeah.
And as long as everyone is treated well, like, yeah, like, some days you have to be covered in blood, and, like, that sucks, or, you know, there are definitely downsides. Like, there's stuff that sucks, but, like, it's also can be, like, really fun to, like, run around the woods with your friends and be ridiculous.
Just scream.
Yeah. Let's make a horror movie called The Cheerleader.
He wants to be the
cheerleader. I don't know. I feel like you should be the cheerleader. We'd make a lot of money.
But then I would be, like, the first one to die.
Not if you're a virgin.
True.
So you'd be the first one to die. All right, folks, let's tell the news. Our title story today is that Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Taylor Swift is?
I do. I really, really do.
Taylor Swift, hot off winning the 3rd consecutive Artist of the Year award at the American Music Awards this past weekend, which is insane. I can't believe she's won that. She's been Artist of the Year 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Some people probably have a problem with that. I think that awards don't matter. Sorry. Taylor Swift is going to be releasing her session demos film on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So basically, Taylor Swift has recorded herself singing her entire album Folklore, and the video of that is going to be streaming starting November 25th, which is what, like tomorrow?
Literally tomorrow, yeah.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this move by Disney Plus? Because it seems like more of a move by Disney Plus and less of a move by Taylor Swift. This totally makes sense for
yeah, well,
Taylor
here's
Swift.
the thing. Like, a lot of artists that pull in a teenage audience tend to do, like, tour videos and behind the scenes stuff, and their fans eat that up. Mm-hmm. So I really am not surprised. I'm sure that this is going to get a lot of traction, especially because generally if you have a family having Disney Plus already, it's not really out of the question. I'm sure that's, if there's a teenager in your house and then maybe a kid that's slightly younger or something, Disney Plus is probably one of the streaming services that you'd prioritize because you've got something for everybody on there, would be my guess. As opposed to maybe HBO Max doesn't have kids shows.
See, I actually think this is brilliant because so far Disney Plus has kind of been aimed at younger kids, Star Wars and Marvel fans.
Yeah.
And there have been a few other things Noelle could kind of be considered for teenage girls for that market. But what I really think is interesting here is that it seems like Disney Plus is willing to try different avenues of media that other streaming services don't seem to be willing to do. Yeah. I think that it's noticeable that this year, in the past year, obviously not this year now, or no, it is this year. Oh my god. Hamilton came out on Disney Plus this year.
Yes, it did.
Oh my god.
Yes, it did.
But when you talk about Hamilton this year, when you talk about Hamilton, right?
It's been a long decade.
When you talk about Hamilton, when you talk about the difference between Hamilton, Mandalorian, and this, you're looking at a streaming service that is really willing to branch out the kinds of content that it is putting on itself.
Absolutely.
In order to hit a bunch of different audiences. And I don't think that a Netflix would have put Hamilton on. That's not true. They have Shrek. So actually they probably would have. And actually now that I think about it, Netflix has kind of done stuff like this in the past.
Yeah.
Disney Plus just seems to be taking it to a next level of marketing.
Yeah.
Well,
and Hamilton, Shrek, here's the thing. Shrek is great. It has a name for itself, but the hype around Hamilton has just been so crazy that it doesn't surprise me that Disney was the one to snag them up.
I just meant more that I'm not surprised, or I was about to say that Netflix doesn't have musicals, but it does. It does have Shrek, so that's not totally fair. But I really think that there is something about Disney's strategy here of creating event streaming. Because that's what it's starting to feel like. Disney is not putting out... Netflix is trying to do quantity and hoping that some of it is quality. You know what I mean? Netflix is putting out a lot of content. And, I love new content. And I'm not watching a lot of it because I can't keep up with Netflix.
Yeah, they put out a lot of stuff.
Disney is not doing that. At least not yet. Disney right now is putting out some content.
Yeah.
But other than... even Noelle, there was stuff I liked in it, but all of the Disney Plus originals that I've seen, because the only things I haven't seen are Lady and the Tramp, the live-action remake.
Wait, what?
What?
There was a live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp?
Yes.
What?
Have you not seen the trailer? Where their eyes are very human and it's weird?
No!
Oh my god. Yes, there was a live action Lady in the Tramp.
Okay.
Doug Duriolo in the chat says, I feel like the strategy of putting out an episode every week instead of dropping a season all at once allows for hype to continue building for a show. Like the hype for Mandalorian was high for months because the episode a week approach. Exactly. And I think that Disney has made itself event streaming in a way that nothing on Netflix feels like event streaming other than maybe Stranger Things. And Netflix hasn't had a franchise like that in a while. Witcher is going to feel like that for season 2 for a certain crowd. For us, obviously, Witcher season 2 will be an event. But it is a different kind of streaming model that they're building right now that I think is really, really smart.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
I
still...
Did I lose you?
I'm trying to... Yeah.
Can someone input the reboot key for the Claris robot?
Guys, I'm so confused. Okay, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, it was day one Disney Plus material, was the Lady and the Tramp remake.
Great.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's a smart move, for sure, to branch out this content and see what works, because like the concert movies work. People watch them. Like, they get eyeballs, and that's what Disney wants.
What was that Justin Bieber one that was like Never Stop, Never Stopping?
No, it's
that was the pop star. That was Andy Samberg joke about the Justin Bieber. Never Stop Believing. Is that what it was?
It was called Pop Star or something.
No, that was Andy Samberg's.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber had one that was like Never Stop Believing or something like that. And it was huge. Like that movie made so much money.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. But, it makes money. The Lady Gaga behind the scenes stuff, it makes money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's
which she was fully nude in?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was watching that movie, thinking I was watching, and then she's just fully naked by the pool for no reason, and I was like, what is happening?
You're like, all right.
It was just one of those moments where I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Sure?
I was not expecting just, yeah.
Alright.
It wasn't even, but it was more that I was like, it wasn't like, I'm not saying it's bad or anything, it was just more that like, it didn't seem like that kind of a film.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing leading up to it that I was like, there's probably going to be nudity in this. Usually when I'm watching something, I know there's going to be nudity in it before it happens because I can just get the vibe. It's more adult.
Yeah, totally.
It was just very suddenly naked Lady Gaga and I was like,
oh,
alright. Cool.
Yeah, I think that this is I think it's smart of Disney. Honestly, Taylor Swift has a huge fan base. They're going to want to watch this.
It's funny, the main topic of discussion on Twitter right now is all the Swifties who do not have Disney Plus logins trying to get their friends to give them Disney Plus logins.
Oh no.
And they're trying to set up like a Zoom viewing.
Discord. What?
Don't give away our secrets.
Oh, please. It's not a secret.
No, I think this is brilliant. I think that it's really smart of Disney Plus to put out content like this. And I think that this is going to, like Hamilton. Hamilton brought in a crap ton of subscribers. Yep. And probably a lot of them didn't stay. A lot of them probably watched Hamilton and then ditched their subscription until Mandalorian started coming out. Because they don't pay month over month the way that I do. Yeah. Like, I pay for Disney Plus every month because I have to have access to all my Star Wars stuff at all times. Disney Plus has created a lifelong fan. As long as George Lucas doesn't come out and start saying transphobic stuff, I will keep giving my money. Yeah. I don't know what that was in reference to.
No idea. Yeah, no idea. But no, I 100% bet there were a ton of people who like subscribed to Disney because they saw Hamilton was coming out, because the hype around Hamilton was crazy. The fact that you couldn't get tickets or they cost so much money was wild, and it was brilliant of them. I think that the show was brilliant. I've talked about this before on my streams. The type of music that it is not something I would put on to like rock out to, but I can really appreciate how complex and how complex it is and how well it's done. The staging was beautiful. Like Hamilton hit me right in the feels, I have to say. I lost the in-person lottery. I showed up. I spent time in my day to show up to a place. I lost the in-person lottery to Hamilton 400 times. Over 400 times. Well, I would just go every day, right? Yeah.
I was in school and I would just go to the public and I would lose and then I would go to...
That's fair.
But yeah, I lost over 400 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I never saw it live, despite going...
So sorry.
And that's not including digital. That's not including digital entries.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's Kate knows. I went with Kate Emily 5 in the chat. She and I went many times to the Hamilton lottery and did not win together.
But then they put it on Disney Plus and we got to watch it.
They put it on Disney Plus.
And you know what? I would have paid for a month of Disney Plus to watch it. If I didn't have it, for sure.
Doug the Riolu says, my ISP gave me a free year of Disney Plus, so loved it and was too lazy to cancel it. I still love watching the content, so worth it. This is a sad story. I signed up for Disney Plus the day that it came out. The next day, I walked into a Verizon store and I bought the new iPhone 11 Pro. And 6 hours later, I got an email from Verizon saying that I got a free year of Disney Plus the day after I had paid for my first year of Disney Plus. So yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's okay.
It's okay. Honestly, Mandalorian Season 1 was so worth it that I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
This is the way.
The other thing as well is, like, you know, if you sign up for one thing, they, like...
That code
there
doesn't
are people...
expire.
Wait, what?
Oh. They're saying in the chat that I could have got that money back.
Well...
I didn't even try, if I'm being honest.
Sorry.
I just was...
Was it worth the money, though?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're fine.
And
guys,
also,
it's fine.
Let's be honest. Like, I can't complain. I bought a new iPhone. Like...
Yeah. Let's be real.
Remember when we had jobs and could afford things? Guys, I miss my restaurant.
I miss restaurants.
Restaurants.
No, it's one of those things where, like, I know people who, like, sign up for things and then you're just, like, too lazy to, like, cancel it. And I have a feeling that, like, that goes for, like, you know, people our age. And that also goes for, like, parents who sign up for Disney Plus for their kid to watch the Taylor Swift thing and then just forget to cancel it.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the thing. I don't do that, but it's because look, I'm not someone who shares passwords a lot. I pay for all of my streaming services, and I have all the ones that I use. I unsubscribe to the things I'm not using. Like, I don't have Hulu because I don't use Hulu really. I pay for Disney Plus, I pay for Netflix, and I pay for Amazon. Those tend to be the ones. I was paying for DC Universe until that went away.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in Canada, I can't have HBO Max. But if I could, I would have HBO Max.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm going to be very honest. I pay to support the content that I support. I, as an artist, believe that if I'm going to consume content from people, I'm going to pay for it. And I believe in that, and I believe in supporting the artists that I think deserve my support. And so I'm one of those millennials who actually has all the streaming services under my own name. Because I think it's important, you know. I'm not someone who I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, at the same time, I am someone who likes to buy video games when they go on sale and stuff like that. Like, I'm not perfect. I don't buy everything at full price because I can't afford it. But
yeah, but that's different. Like, you're not, like, torrenting a thing online to try and play it.
And, like, I go out of my way to find a legal way to watch things. And I'll rent movies. You know, we've rented movies.
Totally.
I want to be the kind of consumer who puts money into the pockets of the people whose art I'm consuming so that they make more art, you know?
Yeah. And, like, you know, as people who, like, create content for people, you know, like, we know how it feels to have that support, and we want to be those people who support others in what they're creating, you know, if we are consuming it, you know.
Well, and like, especially we feel it even more than they do, because we know when we are very aware when people pay us.
Oh, for sure.
Like, a big bar shows up at the bottom of the screen and announces to the world that someone just gave us money. Like,
we celebrate because we're like, we can eat.
You know, so we are very familiar with the feeling of getting paid for the entertainment that we hope that you feel this provides.
But I think being an artist gives you that perspective.
Yeah,
you know,
it does.
I don't think that's exclusive to artists. There are other people in the world that's not what I'm saying. But we kind of feel that on a more personal level.
100%.
Yeah, and I am all about supporting the things that I enjoy and that I think deserve it, and the people that I want to see keep making stuff.
Absolutely. And I hope this isn't coming across as preachy. I'm not trying to be preachy.
Yeah.
I want to vocalize that a lot here because I want to normalize talking about paying for art.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people I think that a lot of people kind of we've normalized things being free or uber cheap.
Yeah.
And you know, it all started when iTunes made songs 99 cents. Like, that was the beginning of this.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to the point now where, like, people complain when things cost money.
Yeah.
You know, and this was the big conversation when Mulan was coming out, when everyone was like, oh my god, it's $30. And I'm like, yeah, but you would have spent $55 on movie tickets for a family of 4. Like, $30 is not that much money, but we're complaining about it because we've been desensitized to, like, free things.
And it's there's kind of a spotlight being put on it right now in the middle of the pandemic because people are consuming art and they want it because they can't really leave their house like they used to be able to, but they don't want to pay for it. They want it. They want you to give them free things or cheap things. But there are people telling you that because the arts are dying to go find a new job.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's tough, right? It's like, no, you are the person that we are trying to create for. You know, we are trying 100%. To provide you with entertainment in a time of this pandemic. Don't tell me to stop doing that. Don't tell people to stop creating art and stop creating entertainment because the world would be a much more boring place.
Yeah, and I think that also people don't understand that, like, the art that you are paying for your content no matter what. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. You're either paying for your content with money or you are paying with your information is being sold to people you don't know own it now. Like, and that's the internet. You are either watching stuff for free on YouTube and your habits are being sold to a company so that they can advertise to you better, or you're paying for YouTube Premium and you're watching it without ads and you're not being targeted and your information isn't being mined. Like, we are all paying for everything right now. You pay to be on Instagram. You just don't, it just doesn't feel like it because it's not money out of your pocket. Yeah. But there is a cost. Mm-hmm. And I am of the mind that I am okay paying for things with my real money more than with my information.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I like the free version of Peacock. Like, yeah, it's free, but
it's not.
Somebody is buying your viewing habits.
Yeah. Yeah, which, you know, that's a whole other can of worms to unpack.
I also want to say, I'm not shaming people who can't afford to pay with their own money. Dilpig on the chat is just like, I can't pay with their own money. I totally get that. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it is worth acknowledging and knowing about in your personal product.
Yeah, for sure. If it's not costing you money, oftentimes it is costing you your information. And that's just a really good thing to be aware of.
And honestly, I shouldn't say anything because I'm very open about the fact that anyone can have my information. I'm so public on the internet, you guys.
Yeah, I mean...
There's nothing you don't know about me. Like, whatever. Amazon can target me with their ads. I'm the cleanest... Other than, like, the legal complications of being a dual citizen, I don't break the law. Yeah. Like, I'm the first person to be like, I did something wrong. What's the punishment? And they're like, it wasn't that bad. And I was like, okay, how much do I owe? You don't know anything. Are you sure? Like, I'll pay a fine.
She's like, I'll make this right. Use an angel.
Use an angel. I am an angel.
Not with that mustache. So Canadian of you. Yeah, that's your Canadian side coming out.
I don't know. I think, I just think that we all have to be more aware of the implications of not paying for our content.
For sure.
It goes back to, like, people complaining that there was a lockdown in Liverpool, but the Batman movie was still filming. And I'm like, you're complaining now, but all of the people complaining are going to go see that freaking Batman movie when it comes out. Yeah. So, like...
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Don't know what to tell you. Artists are literally putting their lives on the line to make content for your entertainment. They're not doing it because, I promise you, the PAs on that set are not making so much money. They're making barely livable wages.
Yeah, they are trying to survive a pandemic.
They're not making a living wage to be PAs. They do it because
they do it for free.
Artists give a crap about entertaining other people. We literally live our lives with... Our inherent value inside of us comes from other people having a good time.
Yes, truly.
I promise you, it's not malicious.
Yeah.
It's a little
we want you to be happy and enjoy yourself. Like...
Yeah, I just want you to laugh.
Yeah.
Please laugh. Have a good time. Enjoy your life while I descend into madness over my lack of self-worth.
The news. Oh, what is today turning into?
What is our show, even? What is our show?
Because we have so many friends here today.
I know, we have so many friends here today. Hawkeye is filming. Apparently, The Disney Plus Hawkeye series is currently in not pre-production, not post-production, the one in the middle, production. Jeremy Renner has been posting some photos. If you go to his Instagram, you can check them out. We don't have them on the show this morning. Yeah. But Jeremy Renner posted some photos of a little beat-up face that looks very, very much like the Hawkeye from a certain Matt Fraction run from a few years ago that was very popular. The speculation now is that if the Hawkeye series is in production, do they have a Kate Bishop? Have they not yet cast Kate Bishop? Will Kate Bishop not be in the series? Kate Bishop is going to be in the series. There's
Maybe
no way
it's a
she won't.
Surprise.
It would be very hard for them to keep it a surprise.
In
it
COVID
would be
times,
really hard.
Would it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sets are way more closed now.
Yeah, but like whatever girl it is, their agent is going to leak it so that they can get her next job. Because the show won't come out for like a year, so like you can't keep your stars. They're also going to have to put out ads at some point. Like, there's not really a reason for them to keep who is playing Kate Bishop secret. I guess. And Disney doesn't have a track record of trying to hide things like that. Mm-hmm. And also, at some point, they will shoot outside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're just... we're either going to find out because of a set leak, or she's not in the first episode, maybe? And that's what's going on right now. Maybe. But the Hawkeye series is in production. Are you excited for Hawkeye series?
Yeah. I think he's actually one of the, like, a very interesting...
You like Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, I think he's great. No. He's also one that, like, I feel like we know the least about. Yeah. In a sense. Like, just from the content that I've seen so far. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah. He seems like a good, interesting, complicated dude. And he has a family. Like, yeah. I feel like we haven't really explored much of a Marvel hero with a family, because Iron Man's the only one who really has a kid, and that's even only in the last couple of movies. Yeah. So I feel like there is a lot of room in the MCU for, like, that kind of storytelling. Yeah. Ant-Man also does, but that's more of a comedic relationship. I think Ant-Man doesn't struggle with the implications of having a family the way that a spy like Hawkeye would. Yeah. And so I just think it's a very different kind of storytelling. For sure. And I'm really excited to see what his relationship with Kate Bishop is going to be like. Mm-hmm. When at the end of Infinity War, sorry if this is a bit of a spoiler for Infinity War, but at the end of Infinity War, we saw that people got snapped away, and at the beginning of Endgame, it was revealed that Clint Barton's family was one of those. Thank you for that, Primo Games, for the Empire. Thank you. Cheers. And I feel, I thought at the time that the Kate Bishop storyline was going to be him and Kate Bishop having this relationship because he lost his daughter. Obviously, by the end of that movie, that thought went away because his family comes back. Yeah. I hope everyone's seen Endgame, right? Can you spoil that movie? I feel like if it's made more money than anything else. Like, if it's been out for, like, over a year, I feel like, you know. So, now that his daughter's come back, it's going to be a very different kind of thing. Yeah. But he is, he's still going to be struggling with the actions that with his actions as Ronin. Yeah. And the implications of how he behaved as Ronin during the 5 years that his family was gone, and there's definitely still going to be like an emotional trauma from that. In fact, all of these heroes are going to be dealing with emotional trauma from those things. So this show is taking place after Endgame? I don't know for sure. Oh, okay, so we're not actually... I don't know. Well, and because that's interesting, right? Because Black Widow takes place before Civil War, I believe. Right. The upcoming Black Widow movie takes place between... I believe it is technically between Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when this is going to take place. It might have flashbacks. I know that it is said that the Black Widow movie will reveal what happened in Budapest. Yes. Which is the... They have talked about that. Which they have talked about. I don't know if that means that Hawkeye is in Black Widow. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of I don't knows. And it's tough. Yeah. Oh, Shin in the chat is saying that it is after Civil War. Black Widow's after Civil War. That makes sense. I mean, it could be anywhere. Yeah. I'm assuming Black Widow will have flashbacks in it, so it might actually take place over a bunch of eras. Well, yeah, because aren't we going to see the training and such when she was growing up?
Maybe.
I thought that they alluded to that. Like, that it was going to be a very dark movie because of those themes.
I don't know if they're going to show her specific training, though, or if it will show where she was training and, like, the young girls that place is training now.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I think shutting down the place that she's... Although, if she goes there, there'll probably be flashbacks. Just narratively, it would make sense.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting. Obviously, we won't see that movie till next year now.
Sad.
But it is going to be interesting to see what this series has to do with that movie, if anything. Mm-hmm. Because I could see them doing a lot of flashbacks to where Hawkeye was through a lot of the MCU, sort of like we were talking about yesterday with the Nick Fury show.
Totally.
But at the same time, I want this series to move forward.
Yeah.
I don't really want this to be set in the past. I want Kate Bishop to be taking this franchise forward. Mm-hmm. The same way that I want Kamala Khan in her show. There are some set photos from the new Miss Marvel show featuring the young Canadian actress who plays Kamala Khan.
I love it.
Very proud that she's a Canadian. Every time I talk about Shang-Chi, I'm going to be like, Canadian actor, Simu Liu. Everyone in the MCU is going to be Canadian and Australian soon.
I love it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I'm just excited. I'm excited for Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is my preferred Hawkeye in the comics. I love her as a character. Clint Barton's great, and he's especially great when he's written by Matt Fraction. That run is really, really solid. Mm-hmm. Telling a story of, like, he can shoot a bow and arrow, but everything else in his life is kind of a mess. And that specific version of Hawkeye really plays well with Spider-Man. Yeah. Because they both kind of have that, my personal life is a train wreck.
Yeah,
thing.
For sure.
And I don't know, I'm excited for the show. I think that Jeremy Renner is a really talented actor.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really fun. Mm-hmm. I wonder. I always because there's always parallels. I always wonder how much it's gonna be like Green Arrow, just because of the similarities between there's always whatever superhero there is in the Marvel universe, there's kind of a parallel to it.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so I just wonder if it's going to be nothing like it, which I feel like it will be.
Yeah, I think that the good news, for me, the good news is that this version of Hawkeye is married with kids. Yeah. And is going to have, I hope, is going to have a very father-daughter relationship with Kate Bishop, as opposed to there being any sort of weird age gappy romance stuff going on.
No, thank you.
I don't think Marvel's going to go down that route.
We had enough of that with Captain America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're done with that. Move on, please. Thank you.
Hero of Wind in the chat says, I never really understood the purpose of Hawkeye or Black Widow. I disagree with that. I totally get why S.H.I.E.L.D. would make a superhero team and insert their spies into it.
Yeah.
If I was going to work with a bunch of people I did not trust, I would make sure that there were people on that team who would tell me if they were about to go rogue. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fair. Nothing makes more sense to me than S.H.I.E.L.D. being like, we're going to hire a bunch of superheroes and those two spies to make sure that they're not committing war crimes or... Yeah, and it doesn't turn into an episode of The Boys. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I always do, there is always that thing, though, in the back of my mind when I'm watching a Marvel movie of, are they going to be okay? Because they're just human. When right? In the first Avengers movie, when Cap launches Black Widow off of his shield and she grabs onto the speeder in motion, and you're watching it, you're like, oh, so her shoulder's just, oh no, she's fine? Oh, so Black Widow's completely invincible. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief there for a little bit. Because it's definitely one of those things. It's in the back of my head. I while I'm watching it, I'm like, those guys are just human. You punch Hulk in the face versus you punch Black Widow in the face. It's gonna have a very different effect on each character. To be fair, no one ever hits Black Widow. Yeah. It's all. Yes. She is invincible and also impossible to hit. Yes, but if Black Widow was trying to defeat someone who is a dexterous supervillain. Yeah.
yikes. I'd be scared for them. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think that Black Widow is a tactician. Her and Captain America, they're both tacticians. I think that the movies have done a really good job of using Hawkeye for his strengths.
Right.
You know, in the first Avengers movie, they put him on top of a building and he was calling out where things were happening so that the other heroes could do stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a smart move to be like, all right, you're going to be in the highest spot and you're going to use your very good eyes to look at things. And I don't know. I think that when used correctly, and I often think Hawkeye's been used correctly. Yeah. In Age of Ultron, my favorite moment in all of Age of Ultron is the moment where Quicksilver runs away with Scott Witch, and Hawkeye's behind him, and he's like, I could shoot you right now and no one would know. No one would know. And he just is like trudging along behind him. And I'm like, that is the funniest use of that hero. Like, you're using him as his character. He's, you know, it's a character-driven comedy beat that is just... I still joke. I laugh at that joke. That movie's been out, what, like 6 years? And sitting on this couch, I'm like, it's so funny when Hawkeye's just like, I could take you out and no one would know. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Laughing. I'm laughing at, I've been laughing at that joke for 6 years.
David's not okay.
I'm really not.
Do we have any more news stories?
We do! Do you guys like Doctor Who? Do you like Doctor Who?
Oh, I know where this is going.
Wait,
yes.
What do you mean this is going? Did you read my iPad?
No, I just, someone told me in my stream yesterday.
What? Okay, then you tell me the news.
Guys. John Barrowman is coming back to Doctor Who!
That's right. Captain Jack Harkness, bisexual icon. Captain Jack Harkness. A man who we hope to one day have a threesome with. Jack Harkness.
Okay, he's a little bit old.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is returning for the Doctor Who Christmas special this year.
I'm so excited. I have to catch up. Yeah. Like, I'm behind on Doctor Who, and now I have to catch up before Christmas.
Yeah. I
love him. I love him.
More than many other Doctor Who characters, I am very excited to see how Captain Jack Harkness interacts with a female Doctor.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Like, yeah. It's like an interesting... Of all the characters in Doctor Who, he is such an interesting perspective on things. Mm-hmm. Being a human, but also having done his own time travel. Like, he just has a very different perspective. And I'm excited for him to meet a female Doctor.
Yeah, he is truly one of a kind.
Oh, yeah.
In the show and in the universe. And
he's my favorite Doctor Who character.
As a human, yes, 100%. Yeah. When they announced Torchwood, I was like, heck yes.
And that show ended up being really good. Like, I love Torchwood.
Yes. I love Torchwood. I think it has some weak spots in it.
I don't. I love I love all
that's
of it.
Fair. Yeah. That's fair.
I don't know. Those characters... Torchwood works better to me than Doctor Who does.
Really?
Yeah. Doctor Who runs into a problem of relatability for me oftentimes. Right. Where the episodes that are more Doctor heavy are harder for me to enjoy because they're unrelatable to me.
Really?
And when they push the companions to the side more and their companions aren't central to the story of the episode, I have a harder time carrying because I know the Doctor doesn't have any sort of risk involved in anything that he does or she does. When Torchwood...
Risk?
There's no conflict when it's just the Doctor against an enemy to me. When it's the Doctor at the center of the story. There's no, relatable conflict emotionally for me. I have a hard time with that.
Heaven Sent is my favorite episode, so I have a hard time.
It's a great episode of television. I just don't relate to it the same way that, because all the characters in Torchwood feel relatable and feel more,
humans.
But it's not that. I can relate to an alien. Mm-hmm. I just sometimes struggle relating to the Doctor specifically because their personality can kind of shift moment to moment. Yeah. This was less of a problem during David Tennant's years because I feel like his Doctor was the most consistent. But Matt Smith's Doctor would sometimes be a completely different character for an episode.
Yes. I think that the writing.
Of course, I like Blink. Blink is, but Blink is about the companions. Doctor Who is at its strongest when it is about a companion whose story is influenced by the Doctor.
100%, and that is why I will always defend Clara, because
great companion.
Which some of you don't actually know that my username was influenced by her, because I think she's definitely one of aside from Donna Noble, she's my favorite companion.
Dr. Donna.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm gonna cry. She is so much like the Doctor, but in human form. Ultimately, that was her demise. Spoilers, but it's been a few years. People hated her. People hated her as a companion, and I was like, no, she is a reflection of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But in, I guess, more a relatable way, and that she was one of my favorite parts about it. Her, Jenna Coleman.
Yep.
That's her name. Jenna Coleman and Peter Capaldi together were like
brilliant,
top notch.
Peter Capaldi. Don't do that, Joe. Peter Capaldi, for me, was such a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
After Matt Smith. Because I grew up, when I was a kid with, like, BBC in Canada, I grew up watching the old Doctor Who's, and to me, the Doctor was older. You know what I mean? The Doctor was, like, an older man. Like, a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, in my childhood idea of a doctor was a person in their 40s or 50s who was experienced in all of those things.
Yeah.
And so when we got, not so much Eccleston felt like older than Rose.
For sure.
David Tennant started that trend of, like, he's like a young, attractive man.
And he was like so like hipster, like with the Converse and the suits. Like,
but he felt the same age as the companions. And then Matt Smith, even more so, felt the same age as the companions.
Or younger at times.
Or younger. Or sometimes young. Like a child, almost.
Yes.
Peter Capaldi brought back the idea that the Doctor... And part of it was Peter Capaldi's just such a brilliant actor.
Oh, God. He's incredible.
He was more mature than the companions. And to me, that was a lot more like the Doctor Who that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And so it felt more comfortable to me.
Well, yeah. And the one thing that I think Capaldi balanced really well was that maturity, but also still learning from the companions.
And also he's so fun.
Oh, God, yeah.
The only complaint I have about the Capaldi years is that they didn't let him swear.
Writing.
Because... if you've never seen the original House of Cards that Peter Capaldi's in, the man's... Or is it called House of Cards? The show that Peter Capaldi did, where he swears all the time and he just insults people. I think it's a show that Veep is based off, not House of Cards.
Oh, I need to get on that.
Peter Capaldi is the best... is the actor with the best use of curse words, second only to Samuel L. Jackson. It goes Sam Jackson... Peter Capaldi.
All right.
And just search up like Peter Capaldi swearing, and you'll see like the thick of it. Thank you so much, Rhiannon and Bawa in the chat for the thick of it is this show where Peter Capaldi just lays into people.
I love it,
and it is his use of language.
I need that in my life.
Unbelievable. It's so good.
I need that.
But yeah, no. Torchwood to me is My thing with Doctor Who has always been that every season there's like 3 episodes that I love and that I hold dear to my heart. There's like 3 episodes. Say there's 9 episodes per season. Every season has a different amount of episodes.
Yeah, so and there's a lot.
Say there's always 9. There's 3 episodes I love. There's 3 episodes that are good. And then there's 3 episodes that are weird. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, that was an hour and a half of my life.
Yeah.
Torchwood is a little bit more... serialized. It's a little bit more like consistent character-wise, and so it's overall it is a show that I enjoyed more. It also told its story and got out, and didn't feel the need to be perpetually telling stories, because the perpetualness of modern Doctor Who has kind of ruined the Daleks for me. Like, Daleks aren't scary or interesting anymore. The Cybermen have just kind of like, I'm like, all right, yeah, we've done this. Yeah. We've kind of done this.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, there's, like, I feel like Jodie Whittaker, unfortunately, stepped into Doctor Who at a time when there weren't really a lot of great villains for her.
No, yeah.
That haven't been beaten to death by Tennant, Smith, Capaldi.
Yeah.
And then Jodie Whittaker steps in, and like, even the Master, like, they're doing interesting things with the Master, but
I loved the Mistress. That was fun. That was a fun hot take, and that actress is truly incredible. Yeah. She's on Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I love Torchwood, and I think that John Barrowman is incredible. I'm so freaking excited for him to be on Doctor Who again. It's going to be so good. I can't. It makes me happy.
Yeah. So we will definitely be catching the holiday special. That'll be a nice little Christmas present for us.
Yes.
Maybe
we talked about doing like a public like watch along.
Oh, maybe we'll do that with our Discord.
Stay tuned.
we might try and make that happen. Y'all, it's nearing the end of the show here. We have a couple of things we want to talk about our week. Just so you guys know, I know I typically stream Friday nights. I will not be streaming Friday this week. I am driving to New York Friday after the morning show to pick up my stuff out of my storage unit. I will be back for my Sunday night stream, though, for Star Wars Sunday, which will start off with some Squadrons, and then we'll probably switch to some other stuff, like we always do. Maybe we might play some Witchit, if anyone wants to join me for some Witchit. Daygon just bought us that game. And so, yes, Kate, we need to talk.
Surprise!
Kate, you and I do need to talk, but that'll happen off stream. Today, what's happening later today?
Oh, today, guys, we are going to both be on again later. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch us playing a new game called Inseparable, created by Beatbull Games, who you might have seen in and around the chat. Indie game developer, it's just him. He has put together this by himself, and it's a cooperative game that we are going to play for you guys later on.
BlindSeer, thank you so much for the biddies.
BlindSeer, thank you.
Hashtag promote the arts, y'all.
I love that.
Thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. So we're going to be on later today. I'm on tomorrow with some more Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because you're not streaming Friday, are you doing Thursday?
I am, yeah. I'll be on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday this week.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Thursday we'll be playing some Valhalla. Guys, Beatbull Games will be in our chat during the stream later today. So please come by and check out this new game by this indie developer. We really want to support indie devs. We want to support indie games. And we're so excited that they are going to that they're going to be a part of this with us. Yeah. It's really cool to be asked by a developer, to play their game. Yeah. And we're just really excited to do it, to play a new game with them.
Yep, it's going to be fun. He's let me know that the game is not super long, so it may not be a long stream unless we play something else.
I might switch to some Valhalla after.
Yeah, and which is totally fair. But please come check out this new game. This is a really cool opportunity. It's called Inseparable. Yeah. Literally, our characters will be inseparable in the game. They are linked and we have to work together as a team.
And it is a game that is 2-player only, apparently.
There is a way to play it by yourself, but I believe that you have to control both characters.
Oh, that's kind of fun, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try out that as well. We'll both try out that on the stream.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Also, y'all, what else? Oh, the Ron Burgundy morning show is coming up. That is either going to be Friday or Monday. Stay tuned to our social medias for that. If you're in our Patreon, go check a first look at what Ron Burgundy is going to look like. That is available for all patrons. As well as our Ned Flanders stream, which will be next week. So that I can get rid of the caterpillar on my face.
Maybe we can just make that Sunday and get it over with.
Probably not. I'm probably going to try and keep the mustache as long as possible.
Great.
Y'all, thank you so much for being here. You can follow us across the social medias: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. My Twitch is twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
I'm at twitch.tv/ClaristraCaris.
And as always, we want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to everyone on our Patreon, whether you're at the $1 tier or up. Any amount of support over there, really, it means the world to us. Yep. We can't believe that we have 30 patrons.
Yeah, you guys are incredible. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And we are going to be putting out our patron-only podcast later today. So check that out after the Inseparable stream. We're going to record that and talk about co-op games and playing with friends.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk to you guys later. if you missed any part of the show or you want to check out past shows, they're available on our YouTube, Nerdy Nightly, or on our podcast feed.
So wherever you download your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, there's so many others. Those are the two that I know off the top of my head.
And if you do have Apple Podcasts, please rate this show 5 stars. It is the easiest way for us to get seen by other people. So if you want to support and you want a free way to support us, give us that review on Apple Podcasts. Give us that 5-star rating. It's how you get seen on podcast feeds. Mm-hmm. So if you want to help us grow, we would appreciate that.
Thank you
so much. And as we always say, my name's David Webb.
I'm Ariel Edwards.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
I always forget to pick this up and have it ready.